morning. So it's good morning. Thank you for joining us on our second webinar of this quarter. So today we have a special host, Marian DeCio, and she is Team 2, Quarter 4 out of, I'll let her introduce herself, but she's a Vivid Share expert. And so she is going to coach as many people as she can fit in to create a vivid share around game in the world. And that is whether or not you're making a video or not. But if you are creating a video for the Team Management Leadership Program, then we're going to also be listening in for the elements that are included for our scripts. So the script is a Vivid Share, and Marian is going to really be a stand that you do it in Vivid Share form and create your script vividly. So that's what we're doing here today. I'm Lori Gallagher, and I'm a co-leader of the video team and also of Team and Beyond. And then, Bob, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Bob Hooper. I'm co-leader Team and Beyond and the video team.
Great. And then, Marian, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Marian. I'm on Team LA, and I'm Team 2, Quarter 4, like you said. And Vivid Share has always been my first love, and I'm the current Access to Power accountable. But Vivid Share is in everything in this work. So that's it.
Yeah. Okay, Tiffany, would you like to introduce yourself and what you would like to get out of this webinar?
Yes, sure. My name is Tiffany Worthington, and I am Team 1, Quarter 4. I am in the San Jose Center, and I would love to have a video about my project in my game in the world in Dallas, which would be my last weekend. And my life is focused on changing the average human's today relationship to animals, to have us respect animals and have actually an animal bill of rights, that animals are treated, that they're protected in the same way we are, that they have safety and that they're acknowledged for having all the same feelings and all the things that are important to us as humans, that we protect ourselves, that they're protected too.
Okay, great. Jamie.
Yes, hi, I'm Jamie Team 1, Quarter 1, and I'm in Boston. And so my Vivid Share is around a company that I'm erecting called Be Piecing Productions, essentially sharing the power of the arts thus being a way for people to reconnect to what is power, being the creator instead of the consumer. And so all of our media is geared towards what it is to transform, what it is to discover love, what it is to discover peace, what it takes to be the action of peace, creating peace and love. So short films, documentaries, music album, what else are we doing? Plays. So
Awesome, thank you.
And a YouTube channel that we're releasing. And I'm looking to do
got
that.
You have a lot going on. That's
yes.
great.
Yes.
So you need a lot of teams and teamwork to get all that stuff out there.
Yeah,
That's
and I'm used to being the
great.
lone wolf, so this is where
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be.
This will be great for you. Okay, awesome.
And the
It's a
brief,
perfect
Yeah.
starting point for Team One Quarter.
what?
You're Team One Quarter One, correct?
Yes.
So it's the perfect starting point for team. This is
You're breaking
Yeah.
up.
yeah, this is your third week of team.
So Bob, your voice is not coming in clear.
Okay.
Stay like by your microphone.
Okay.
No, what I got, Bob, was that I'm in the perfect place.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, who would like to introduce themselves next? Sija?
Yes. Everybody is done? I was just waiting for the participants.
There's one
to-
other person, but go ahead, Sija, you can introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Sija, and I am a team alumni from Team Dallas. I live in Dallas, and I am one of the co-leaders with the Global Games team and the video team. I work with Laurie and Bob and Robert, and just specifically more towards India videos and videos across other parts of the world. So, and games. So that's what I do, and I'm glad that I'm here. Thank you, everybody, for coming and sharing.
I didn't really get what you do. You said what about video?
I'm one of the co-leaders for the Team and Beyond group, with the video group and the global games team. And I'm a team alumni from Team Dallas.
So you're a co-leader,
So what I
whatever
do-
that means.
So what I do with the videos is I look at them, I connect with people across the world, especially with Team India. They have 11 teams there, and we bring in those videos and make sure that their voices are heard at the global level. So that's
Oh,
what
wow,
we do.
fascinating. I work with a producer in India.
All right.
Oh, nice.
I lost my my video here. Sorry, I'm trying to get it back, but I can hear you. And I'm trying to get back the my video portion.
Yeah, Laurie, you're
Okay,
breaking up
so
too.
thank you, Sija, and we have one more minute before we go into the actual hand it over to Marian. So who's on the call, the last person? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, that's me, I think, Lorraine. Hi, calling from Team London, and I am Team 1 Quarter 3 now, and I have in mind to create a series of podcasts. Last quarter I did a podcast on loneliness. This quarter I'm creating a podcast on joy, and it will be a series of human interest to go out on my website, and I'm hoping to create a video around this this quarter. And that's me, really.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, all right, great. It's 9:10. Marian, would you like to just dive right in?
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought that what would be the best use of this time was to actually just simply coach all y'all, to really have you guys practice doing, like, reading your script vividly as that will be in the video that we're creating for all y'all. So I am to understand that you've written out your scripts and you read the document that describes, like, that gives you the points of what is to be included in the Vivid Share portion of that. So who would like to take on practicing that right now? I can call on somebody if you like.
Lorraine,
Yeah,
So
why don't
I'm gonna call on Tiffany. because she submitted a script.
Okay.
And as well as Lorraine has submitted a script. Has anyone else on this call submitted a script that we can look at? As then we'll pull the script, we'll put the script on the screen, you can see it.
Yeah, I would. I was looking to find mine just now.
Ah,
Who wants to go now?
so Tiffany is a team 2 quarter 4, is that where you're at? Or team 1 quarter 4?
Yeah, team 1 quarter 4.
Okay. So are you ready to dive right in here? I'm gonna put your script on the screen.
I don't know why I can't get my screen back.
Looking.
Oh, here you are.
Okay.
I got it here.
You got mine?
Yeah.
So oh wait, hold on. But how do I read it if you have it? Oh, good. Okay.
There it is right there. Do people see it?
Yeah, but is it the whole thing? I don't see the whole thing.
Well,
Okay, I have it. I have it here. It's just smaller. For some reason, I can't make it bigger. Okay, you ready?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to time you as well, okay? Just to keep it like so we can see where, around it doesn't have to be perfect, but to see around how long it's generating, okay?
Yes. Okay, good. I just needed to make it bigger. Okay. Okay. So there's nothing I want more than to create a world that works for everyone. But the reality of what happens to animals in this world, to eat them, wear them, use them for entertainment and experiments, seemed insurmountable, and I felt isolated in my caring, never imagining I could make a difference. And I began creating the conversations of the team management and leadership program, and I discovered that most people do deeply care and just need to access their power to change the course of history. Now I've created a team who has joined a worldwide network of ordinary people making an extraordinary difference, speaking up powerfully for animals, proving that each of us are the source of transformation. We can end these systems of violence, creating a world that truly works for everyone, human and non-human animals alike. To learn more and add your voice to ours, please visit us at www.dxe.io. I timed it and it was just 57 or 59 seconds.
Yeah, so I just timed it right now and it's right at around 1 minute, 2 seconds, okay, which is fine. So the timing is good. The amount of words in here is around the right amount of words, but let's have Marian just coach you and then we can go from there.
Yeah, and before going into the coaching, just a little bit of technical piece, Lori, the visiting the website, is that something that's more useful as a on the screen or something to be said?
Yes, you can just put it on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Visit our website. So there's a lot of things that you can show in your video that you don't have to say. Yeah.
Right. So, so Tiffany, it's great. You did the great work at getting the right amount of words in and the time in. That's awesome. And it was like an inspiring, nice story. But what I'd like to get to the crux of is what's the excitement? Because what the vivid part is just you really sharing in a creative way, like in a new creative right now way, the breakthrough that you have created with this game. So can you just tell me now what that is and not worry about time?
Well, the breakthrough for me is that, before the team management and leadership program, before Landmark, I couldn't even talk about the subject of what was happening with animals. I knew a lot about what was happening, but I wasn't doing anything about it. And And I really got that actually we can make a difference. And I started teaming up with organizations like Direct Action Everywhere and some other organizations that are actually making like a tremendous difference and inspiring ordinary people to do extraordinary things. And so we are, you know, now I'm speaking to legislators. There were so many different animal rights bills passed in California this last series of this last voting
Right.
time.
Yes.
And what was I going to say? And then I'm learning. Like I've done speak outs now. I've done things that I never thought I could do, and that I have a lot of. We take a lot of video, and we've taken a lot of video of that, where they're called speak outs, where you go. I never thought I'd do anything like this, but
Awesome.
Can I just,
yeah.
Yeah. So, go
can
ahead.
I interject one thing? Because I absolutely love
Yeah.
that you say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That I'm doing things now that I
Yes.
never thought I would do. Like, and
That's
you're
it.
living the life that you want to be living, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't have to say you're living the life, but that is inspiring.
That's it.
I am actually doing all these things that I never thought I could do. So I would love for you to use that. So go ahead, Mary.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that you took the words out of my mouth, because that's the breakthrough. Like, right? Like for these videos, what I'm getting is that we have only 60 seconds. So get super clear. What's the breakthrough that's inspiring, that lights you up? That's like, that is the victory over the past. Like before team, there is living this life, not realizing that you can make this difference. Now you're like finding that you can be a contribution in huge ways you never thought possible. You're doing things and creating things. Like that's the breakthrough. That because
Yeah.
the breakthrough isn't just that the animals and animals' rights gets contributed to. It's also that you are knowing yourself as someone who can make that difference, and so you can actually turn around and make that difference in the next cause that you're inspired by. So like that's a huge piece as well.
Right.
That and for you to, in the moment when you share it, like we're present to it, for you to get really present to, oh my God. And like in your speaking, it's like, I like that you would share it in a way that you're newly present to. What a remarkable miracle this is, that holy moly, I am now that person that I never thought I'd be, you know? So I'm
Yeah.
not telling you to say those words, but say your words about that, you know?
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so what I've got is like just include, and I did have it included in the longer version, but it was 1 minute and 17 seconds, so trimmed it down. But yeah, doing things I never thought I would do, and also in my speaking, in the way I deliver it, that you would feel the victory over the past. You'd actually have the
Yeah.
experience.
Yes.
Mhm.
And it doesn't have to be like right now it reads like what you said earlier is more of like a really great presentation that's like a verbal resume, but you don't have to actually do that for us. Your emotion, your being in touch with and inspired in the moment is that effectiveness. We don't even have to know all the details of how you're doing it. Are you also present to the distinction of team? Was it creating teams and teamwork, or what was it on team that had you cause this breakthrough for yourself?
Causing teams and teamwork, but the conversations I included this in the longer version too, but utilizing the technology for accomplishment, the conversations from the technology for accomplishment, like the conversation for, well, possibility and an opportunity, and resolving breakdowns. And then just constantly using, the conversation for, all of them. I mean, all of the conversations, the conversation for completion, and action. Yeah, all of them. And I mean, it's really remarkable. You know, people just step into it, and they're people are doing now. My team that I have started in my area, my town, they're doing things without me. I think some of them don't even know I started it. You know, they're enrolling other
Perfect.
people, and more people are joining. I'm like, oh my God, it's actually. I mean, it's you know, it took something for sure, but it's now they're out there and reaching people and making a difference. So
And that's a juicy result too, right? That your, you know, that your vision is continuing even without you, and that's everything that you could possibly desire for, you know, what your commitment is, you know, that it's growing even beyond you, and that is like the fulfillment of your dream, right? For the,
yeah.
that's awesome. And what I was hearing earlier about that you really can distinguish that the technology for accomplishment really caused this game to its fruition, that you being able to be in situations and really listen for what are the pivotal conversations that need to be brought in to move the game forward, the different kinds of conversations that are needed. You were able to hear and then put those conversations in with your teams and teamwork. And then you were able to move this commitment forward and this game forward to like this juicy completion. Am I getting it right? I mean,
Yeah.
am I doing it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'm just typing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't.
So in moving your game forward, you're enrolling a team.
Yeah.
The share is to enroll a team to make the game bigger. It's and that's the outcome of moving your game forward, is have the team have an outcome and having results, measurable results.
I'm typing.
Yeah.
Well,
There'll be a
is
recording of this too. We can share. So
Yeah. You can come back and get the details as well, right? So you can take notes and type, that's great. I'm just going, yeah, so we just put your script
you're breaking up, Lori.
aside for now, and then nothing.
I couldn't
Oh, sorry.
hear you, Lori.
I'm sorry, my internet is unstable for some reason. Okay, so what I'm saying is maybe right at this point, you can put the script aside that you've already done and kind of generate from nothing with Marion a script, like, or a vivid share.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just share with me really quick, like what lights you up about this?
What if I were to just regenerate my script again with letting myself be touched, moved, and inspired?
So what I'm looking at your script is a lot of description and a lot of detail about how deeply you care about your game, right? And that's great that you're very, very passionate about the stand for animal rights and protection of them and having a whole Bill of Rights for them. And you could say that very quickly. You don't have to go into a lot of description. What happens to animals in the world?
It's like saying, what is your why that you're doing this game or you're playing this game in one line. Yeah.
Hear them use it.
Oh,
Yeah, so we want to get you, and with
Lori, you I know you're talking, but I can't hear you.
Yeah, you're having internet problems. So we want, yeah.
I can't hear you, Lori. I know you can't. You're frozen, except for your words are just pinging.
Okay, so go ahead, Marion.
Okay, so Tiffany, can you hear me?
Here, just
You're really
in the
clear.
moment of being in.
Oh.
Your whole Marion or Lori, your whatever great things you've been saying this entire time, we couldn't hear any of them, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I'm interested.
Well, did you hear the piece when Lori was talking about that you have descriptors in your script right now, and that's not as needed or as vivid to move this video forward. And so if you can share like vividly, like the victory and the breakthroughs, and like shorter. So that's why I think why Lori was asking to do it off script, to just so you can get connected to that and not get bogged down by the words you wrote.
Okay.
Because we don't need, as a viewer, like in a 1 minute video, we don't need all the details of what your game is doing. We can get that later in a further conversation with you. Right now, it's just to deliver the impact and deliver like, whoa, this is a big breakthrough. This is impacting this general area. This woman is like unrecognizable to herself because she is clear that she's made a huge difference in this area. And then the details can come later when people talk to you individually. Because you're not going to have enough time with 1 minute to say anything meaningful and to have it be effective. You're not going to say, like, all the details are not going to land effectively in 1 minute if you put all the details and leave out the vivid part.
Right. Right. Okay.
And can you hear me? This is Sija. Yeah, so I was just saying, like, what is your why, Tiffany? Why are you playing this game? And what have you had a breakthrough in this game? So you maybe 1 line or 2 lines, max.
Yeah, 1 or 2 lines. Yep.
Yeah, and I kind of highlight, because you get into the emotional reason of why you need to open up with the emotional reason why it's a game, and get us tear our hearts apart, make us cry.
Yeah.
Well, I thought the video would be useful in that part, but you know, because the first part of what I wrote says, there's nothing I want more than to create a world that works for everyone. But the reality of what happens to animals in this world, to eat them, wear them, use them for entertainment and experiments, seemed insurmountable. And I felt isolated in my caring, never imagining I could make a difference. Now, I wouldn't say it as bold, as bland as what I just said. But of course, the video would be coupled with it, and you'd be seeing some incidences of that. And I think that's something a lot of people can relate to, but they shut off to it because you just don't think you can make a difference. It's just so ever present. And you know, we just shut off to it. We compartmentalize our compassion, you know, and so I don't know. I mean, the why is so big. I honestly, I don't know how to, I mean, I'd love to just.
What is your why?
Yeah, what's
That's
the
what we
impact
want
on
to
you?
hear.
I mean, what you said is knowing that we all know that animals are used for all these things. Yeah, everyone.
Right.
So what's the impact on you?
Oh, on me, it doesn't make me want to live in this world. You know, I mean, the impact on me is not very inspiring if I talk about the impact on me. That's why people turn themselves off to it. They don't want to hear about it because it's so deeply depressing and horrific on every level that why would you even want to, how could you live your life being present to that? I think is what most people think. Like, I mean, that's what I thought. How could I ever take on, you know, being an animal activist, or so to speak, if I'd be ever present to what's going on with animals? I wouldn't be able to like love life. I wouldn't be able to live. But it was always in the background, just grating at me that it was always there and knowing it was happening. But I was too afraid to dive in, just afraid that it would just it would make me, honestly, I was afraid that I would just hate humans. I thought I'm just going to hate all humans. And instead, it's really connected me to the love that humans are, and they just don't know that we're being kind of trained to think that these systems are too big for us, that we can't actually make a difference. We're just born into these systems of violence, and we're just born into it. And I grew up eating, I was the biggest meat, cheese, and egg eater in the world, and never imagined that I could get off animals in my, much less in every other area of my life, you know. And so I just, I think I may have lost you. I don't know where you are.
Okay, we're here. I just turned off the.
No,
We're
we're
here.
good. We're good. Yeah, your voice,
I
what
don't
we're
see
hearing
you
is,
guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna suggest everybody let Marion lead this part, because this is why we have her here. So I would like to really hear your coaching in this, Marion, just to get
Yes.
back on track here, okay?
And I would
Yeah.
like to have an opportunity for other script writers to get coaching too. So
Yeah,
let's
well,
wrap
we
it up.
have, it's 9:33, I'm keeping track, right? So you have Jamie, Tiffany, is there anybody else that wants to get,
There's Lorraine is on too.
and Lorraine, okay, great.
Yeah.
So we have till 9:50 or 9:55 to coach the three of you, okay? And I want all three of you to be coached. And this is for all of you, right? It's what we want you to get into a moment, an aha moment, right? Of what was inspiring you to be so passionate, and just bring us there. But I want Marion to be the leader in this.
Okay.
Well, yes, and Lori, I actually would like to go back to what you suggested earlier for you, Tiffany, is that if you could share it again and go off script and try to, as best you can, to keep it short, but to share vividly and coming from that passion and being present to the victory over the past and the breakthrough. And because like when you were extemporaneously sharing just now, that was way more vivid than your script. So I'd like you to actually just do it again and you experience that accomplishment.
Okay.
Are you there, Tiffany?
Yeah, I am. Can you hear me?
And it's not, yes, I can, yes.
Oh, man. Okay.
Okay, Tiffany, also I want you to take this as there's no make wrong. You created a great script, right? And you also shared just now vividly with us.
Yeah, but
I want you to know yourself also as someone to be able to share it like an elevator speech on a dime vividly.
yeah.
Because I saw it in just now.
Was there a moment that you saw it?
When you were saying, you were just sharing like, you know, I mean, when you were going into, I didn't even want to like live in this world. And I thought I was going to hate humans. And then you got like, you were saying, I got present to how awesome, like you actually got in touch with your own love for humanity, not just love for animals.
Yeah.
You got to actually see that not only are you powerful and that you can make a difference, that we all can. And you got to see that you could be the inspirational leader of humanity.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, there's nothing I want more than to have my life be a purpose. And the thing that I care about the most is what's happening to the least among us, the most vulnerable among us, which are animals, the most gentle among us. And I just, you know, I felt powerless to all the ways we use them, and all the ways we're blind to the impact of that use. And I really didn't want to live in this world anymore. And I also didn't want to get any more present to it because I was afraid that that would just do me in. But through Landmark and the team, especially the team management leadership program, I've really realized, and it's given me access to speaking and listening to people in a whole new way, where I actually have gotten that they deeply care, there's compassion, and there's love, and there's a deep interest to actually make a difference in these areas. If they could stop it in a second, that'd be the first thing they'd stop as well. And I have utilized the technology for accomplishment, the conversations, and actually had people get in touch with that power. And I've gotten connected with a whole, thousands upon thousands of people globally who are actually so much more, have access to their power more than I do. And now I'm learning from them and I'm growing from them. And I've had opportunities now to speak to senators and to speak out in a way, like use my voice in a way that actually connects people to their power. And I'm actually now with an organization that we're working on. Well, we've created an animal bill of rights, and we're beginning to we are standing in the future fulfilled that in this generation, in one generation, we can have animal liberation or an animal bill of rights in one generation.
Ooh, that's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Tiffany, I thank you. I mean, it just really gotta acknowledge you. You showed us your vulnerable side. You showed us why this matters. And this communicates. This is the piece to get to when writing your script. Like, you want to be newly in this place of really getting the impact of the profound commitment that you have, and how dead you were to it before, and how alive you are for it, and how it grew even beyond you. And you see now even a larger future for yourself that you never thought possible, of inspiring all of humanity to be their most awesome selves, being connected to animals, not just, money or fame or whatever.
Yeah. You have a huge call to action there.
Yeah.
Like ending this in one generation.
Yep.
Like
That
that's a
one was
huge
really-
commitment and call to action. So just let me intervene really quickly. What you could do, Tiffany, is to get the recording of this webinar, and you can review that and hear yourself and hear your speaking so that you have it, right? And your script is in there. There's some really powerful statements that came out in that, and we could coach you through that, right? Not on this call, but you have gotten a huge breakthrough in that. And there were like 5 or 6 really, really inspiring, impactful statements that stood out to me that said what you're up to. Okay? Okay, great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Yeah, awesome. Okay.
Awesome.
Who's ready to go next? Jamie. Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you.
And Marion. Okay,
I
so
can't
we're
see
going to
it.
generate from nothing, right? Do you want to generate from nothing, or go ahead, Marion? You lead the next. You continue to lead.
Oh yeah. So Jamie, can you generate from nothing and just share your game?
Yeah. Thank you. So that's me. So I'll generate from nothing. And I have to start in the middle, right? The middle of so I can get on some.
Yeah, start in the middle and in a juicy bit.
Oh boy. All right, I guess I'll go here.
Yeah.
So I'm a poet. It might just come out that way. Let me tap back in. Hold on. You said in the middle and a juicy bit, and then I saw.
Or just wherever. Just start.
Okay. Loneliness is an epidemic. We have become a consumer-based society that has left us lonely and separated in cascades of judgment and regret, remorse, addiction. As we break through from that great place of loneliness and need and shame, the suppression of shame, the separation of the racisms, I found myself in a place to start creating again. And all of our work is about unifying communities, starting with yourself, becoming one, becoming whole with yourself, and discovering out of the discord. And yeah, so our work is a compilation of inspiring media that inspires people to be the creator again. And with this first quarter, I'm creating a monthly music appreciation class where we're sharing the leaders, thus one of them being me, we're sharing the music we've created the month prior, and then we're all creating a song together as a group. And that allows people to tap into that I'm the creator. I actually have power, and I'm going to create out of this. I mean, we live in a war-based society, so we're at war within. That's what we've been taught. So to teach out of that, and the flip side of that is the commitment of what I'm doing with Be Piecing Productions.
Awesome. So, awesome. And I can get really that you have this vision of what is possible with this. And what are you standing in a future fulfilled? But you are, what I mean by that is if we can have you share like that, but then from a future fulfilled, like it's now, we are in Dallas, right? Your quarter game is completed. You're like effective beyond your wildest dreams, and it's taken off. It's going to go on to the next level. And like, let's look back. It's like, whoa, what were the breakthroughs?
I think it starts with me, because I stopped writing for some time, and
Right.
I relapsed 2 years ago, and stopped writing, and had major separation with my family. Didn't talk to my sister, my mother for almost 8 years. So I am very aware that this starts with me, and me having the breakthroughs and being able to write again, and to be able to be vulnerable and not in the addiction of, well, if I feel feelings, I have to numb them, and really feeling my own power, allowing myself to be in my body, allowing myself to feel instead of so standing in the future fulfilled. And I've had breakthroughs with the writing this past week on a couple different levels, and I still feel like I could go much deeper. I'm still kind of at the like.
So am I getting that your game is, yes, it starts with you, and it starts with you and what you say is your healing and getting back to writing and getting connected to that you can have your feelings. It's not going to bring you down. You can have your feelings and still be powerful. And so what you're creating is that available for others on a larger level through
Yes.
different creative expressions,
Yes.
right?
For people not to
Right.
feel alone.
And so so people not to, okay, for a sense of like connectedness, that we're all united, we're all connected. We're not alone. And we can reach out.
You can come back.
So, oh, someone, I heard someone talking. So that's the breakthrough. Like, that's like the juicy bit also is like, you can also, I mean, you could choose to do it either way. Like you began more at the, oh, this is how crummy it can be. It's like lonely, blah, blah. And now I'm going to provide, but you could actually begin at the, it's amazing. Like imagine this, like you could, like this world where we all got that we're all connected, that we don't have to isolate ourselves out. When we have, when we have breakdowns in our lives, we can connect with other people, and through our team's organization of, this productions and the creative work, we've been providing blah, blah. Like you could start with like how amazing it is, like in this world, and then you go back to in this world where people, go deep into depression and addiction and all sorts of things. We're creating, it is unfolding rapidly, this thing that you're creating, right? So there's something juicy in that breakthrough, standing there. Like that's what needs to communicate about your game.
So what you're saying, stand in the high note, the breakthrough first.
Well, it's an option for you. It's not like a rule, right? It's an option, but what would be good, you have to stand in the future fulfilled, not in wish fulfillment. Like there's a difference between being here now, looking forward and hoping and wishing that a certain thing could be true and saying, well, I'm going to try. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about future fulfilled. It's a done deal. I'm looking back. What did I do? Holy moly. This is a miracle, right? And then speaking from there, from future fulfilled. Because right now we're not in Dallas, but it's going to be shown in Dallas, and your game is going to be wildly successful.
Okay. So I missed a couple parts. Okay.
Oh, okay. No, you didn't do it. You did it great, right? I'm adding pieces, right? Yeah. And I'm giving you other options to get to a juicy bit. Because like occasionally getting used by the juicy bit that's like, oh, look how horrible it was before, can almost drag us down and be hard to climb back up from.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I can touch base. So when I do that, I want people to feel heard, like people that are in pain. I want to identify it so I can be the clearing for it. And so what I'm hearing is there's a fine line, and to really bring someone in, I don't know. I mean, I see a couple versions, frankly.
I do too, actually. There is a couple versions.
And you can do a couple versions, right? Like, so what this opportunity is for all of you is to look at your vivid share, like what it really means to you, how it really generates and empowers you. It has to empower you first, or it's not going to empower anybody else, okay? And so there's more than one way to approach it, and the vividness of it. So what Marion's saying is you can come from the empowering part, and like this is the vivid part, and then what the game is. So you always want to get back to what the game is, and the teams and teamwork and what you're committed to. So it can come from the loneliness, isolation, addiction, and lack of creativity to being creative. Or you can come like, I'm a creator, like I'm creating again. Like,
I definitely think, I'm clear. So I definitely think there's two versions.
Right, and that's fine. You can
roll certain communities and certain people that are in different places in their life. I think it's very important to really say what's there for someone. Someone's going to come to the video and they're depressed and fucked up, excuse my language, and they're going to hear that and be like, oh, and then they're going to listen. And then I can do the flip side and bring
Yeah.
them in.
So just to be clear as well, you can use the video for whatever it is that you want to use it for your website or something to that effect. And it's also, you're creating it for the team management leadership program. Okay, so the participants in the weekend, if you're showing it at the Dallas weekend or in the weekend, you're showing it to 900 to 1,000 team management leadership participants. So that's who your first audience is, and you can also generate it to wherever else you would like to. It will be on YouTube. It will also go globally to the London weekend and to the Australia and India weekend. So these are all global weekends of the team management and leadership program. Okay, so that's what this particular weekend, the weekend video is creating, and then it's yours to do whatever you want with.
Yeah, I definitely have okay, cool. So I definitely have a bunch of other questions, and then Marion, I'd like to discuss if we could work together, and I also want to be cognizant of the time.
Sure.
Yes. Yeah. So thank you for being at, and it is 9:53, and I would love Lorraine to have some time to be coach as well. She's calling from London. So thank you, Jamie, and then we will totally
Thank you, Jamie.
hear all this as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeannie.
Yeah. Thank you.
So Lorraine.
Yes, okay. I'll just jump straight in there. I'm conscious of time. So picture this. I'm at home, just got up from my sleep in my zebra onesie after having had a total hip replacement 9 days previously. I sat on a low stool to stoke the log burner and start a fire, and suddenly I hear a loud pop, pop. I get thrown to the floor and realize immediately I have dislocated my new hip. Living alone, yeah, sorry, hang on a sec. Living alone, I suddenly realized how vulnerable I felt and isolated. And luckily, I had my mobile in my pocket, but my fingers wouldn't work properly to call the emergency services. Shock, horror. The whole experience led me to wonder how many other people feel this isolation that I had felt, alone, scared and shocked and not sure what to do. I decided that no one should be lonely. So I decided to create a podcast series on loneliness, joy, and other human interest topics for a future that connects people in the hope that they don't find themselves without a leg to stand on, as it were. And the podcast includes interviews with people on the chosen subjects for each podcast series and music interludes, the latest one being on joy. Through the Team Management and Leadership Program, I enrolled a team of musicians, sound engineer, editor, interviewees, and myself as interviewer. And the opportunity I have invented is to inspire people to listen and share and perhaps discover, for themselves their own way of tackling loneliness in the world. Whatever small action, we can all make a difference. What can you do in your community? The podcast has been played on BBC Three Counties Radio and on my You've Got a Friend website on Facebook and YouTube. And that's it.
Wow.
Great. And Lorraine, what lights you up about your podcast? Like, how would you state the breakthrough of your podcast?
The breakthrough for me has been connection through listening, interviewing, and sharing. People with their own stories that, have come forward quite willingly to share and join in this. Plus, there have been people interested in it now because I belong to I'm a practice nurse as well, to a practice nurse's website. What are you doing for your community has been the latest question. And I've been able to share this on that website as well for practice nurses. And all these different communities are doing different things in their areas for this. Coffee,
right.
all sorts of things, yeah. So that's what lights me
So-
up. What lights me up is connection.
Right. Yeah. So if there could be some way of really like leading with what lights you up vividly. And
Yeah.
I like though the story that you began with because that was really vivid, and it could be shorter, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Got it.
It could be way shorter, and it could be like, you know, but be connected to what lights you up is connection, and that you
Yeah.
were able to cause. Now, was there teams and teamwork in creating this podcast?
I have a team
Yeah,
around that.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah. And so through creating teams and teamwork, you were able to create this podcast to
Yeah.
get the word out that we're all connected. No need to be lonely. No need to have a life where we're isolated, where we can be like
And
supported
dislocated.
when.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And not dislocated. Exactly. Isn't that
Yeah.
hilarious? So, so when you
funny.
share it, like you're sharing like it right now, what I heard was an interesting story, and we could just add
Yeah.
some vividness to it, cut out some of the words, but like in the background of whatever words you say, you presently be present to, like, it's more than just a podcast. This is a movement
Yeah.
that you're starting, because the
Yeah.
podcast is the vehicle to
Yeah.
encourage connection and support, like, throughout all humanity.
That's
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
And also-
I would, yeah,
Also,
go
what
ahead.
I hear in it is that she's creating others to others in it,
That's it.
inspiring others to
Right.
take a part in it and
That's it.
create this movement. So the movement
Yeah.
is really big. I really
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah.
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 And
Yes.
your two games, Jamie and Lorraine, very similar.
Yeah.
I know. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're moving together as team
We are. Yeah.
globally, connected by this webinar. Yes.
Yeah.
And by your creating videos. So having these videos, thank you for sharing that, Lorraine. Having these
Okay.
videos really is inspiration to all the other people in the Team Management Leadership Program, the other participants. This is how people move their games in the world. Oh, this is what the games look like. Like,
Yeah.
what inspired you by seeing the video presentation? It was like, wow, that's a really cool game. I love that. And I have a really cool game too. And how did they create teams? Who's on their team? What are they up to? How big is this? Who's it impacting? Like, what is that future in this expanded mode? And I think this is what's inspiring to everybody. Like, we can all make a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
We can all make a difference.
And,
And
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
the important, the thing with the script and with the team management leadership program, you start with an I, but it's actually we.
it's we.
It's a team, and
It is. Really is.
it's a team.
It's no
we.
longer yours. It's the world.
That's it.
You're generating
we.
something, a movement.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So you have to be when you it could be I about why I'm playing it, but we are creating a difference.
Yeah. Right.
Good. Okay, so let's
Right.
have a few questions. It's just to be clear, it is 10 a.m. And if anybody has to jump, feel free to jump. And if you would like to stick around and have questions answered, that is, I'm available to answer some questions. Marion, are you available to stick around, or you have to leave?
I'm available.
Okay, great. And Bob, how about you?
I have a hard stop in 30 minutes.
Okay, yeah, well, let's wrap this up in the next 5 or 10 minutes, okay?
Yeah.
And then also, this is a webinar for you to go back and listen to, and then you also have coaches to coach you through based on all of, based on what you got out of today's call and what you've already generated in your script. So your scripts are not like, we're not using that. This is just giving different access, additional access into how you can revise your script. Okay? So it's all wonderful. Okay, so who has, Lorraine, or do you want to start? Do you have any questions, or is there anything to complete with Lorraine?
I'm actually very clear on what you've said. I
Ah,
like the idea that it starts with an I and it becomes a we. And I think that's where it's going to go. That's the theme behind it all. It always started with an I and it's become a we.
Yes,
Perfect.
That's the theme I'm going to go with.
awesome.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, thank you for being on this call, Lorraine. She was on our, we have a London call prior to this, so she's been waiting patiently to get in there. So thank you so much for your patience.
Right.
Yeah,
we have a
awesome.
Saturday call,
Right.
but London kind of takes it over every Saturday.
Yeah,
Everyone's welcome
Yeah.
to be on that call.
hmm.
okay.
And anything from you, Jamie?
Of creating the video, the timeline, or anything else, creating the video.
No, I'm good. I've got Alistair to support in London, so I'm quite clear about what needs to be done. He's
Okay,
really
cool.
good with that.
Yeah,
Great.
he's
Thanks.
awesome. And he's team one,
Yeah, he's
quarter one,
great.
taking it on.
I
love it.
know.
Awesome.
Great. I just have a quick question. I'm wondering about setting up coaching calls for the Vivid shares, and then I don't have the timelines for this.
Okay.
In and
So
of-
Bob, do you want to put the email back up on there with the timelines?
Okay, let me
I have it. Here's a information.
let me
If you
pull it
go-
up here. Just gonna hold on for a second.
if it's in an
One of
email,
it-
maybe I missed it, and I can
Yeah.
just
So yeah, it'll be a good chance. I'll just pull it up open here.
Now, so just to be clear, Jamie, how the process works is you hand in when you submit your script, which you did do, correct?
I did.
Yes. Okay, so you should be introduced to a coach. Marion has not, I don't, if you would like to be a coach, Marion, we would love to have you as a coach this quarter. And you're wonderful, and I would love to have that. Is that something that you're open to?
I am.
Okay. So then, if you would like to be Jamie's coach and she would like you to be her coach, that is fabulous. And we can arrange that, okay? So thank you. Now, for the way the process works is that you would just be assigned a coach, whether there's a few coaches, Bob and I and William, and then a few other people, and we're still always looking for more. So it's all great. Once you receive your coach, then between you and your coach, you will create a time that works for both of you. And if you keep it, you keep the conversation of 48 hours. So like you submit your script, you get your coach, and then within 48 hours, you have a coaching call, and then you create feedback for the script, and then the coachee will make revisions within 48 hours and so forth, back and forth. And to keep it flowing. You can also do feedback on the Google Doc itself if you don't have time to have that phone call. You can make suggestions and edits right on the Google Doc. Okay?
This Google Doc.
Yes.
Did you send us this Google Doc or?
Yeah. So the Google Doc
link's
is
in the email I sent.
So Jamie, I'm going to suggest you really look over that email. There's a lot of really, the email that's sent out each week
Okay.
has all the links that you need to create your video.
Oh, the noted script.
Okay, it has the unfolding, it has a script template, it has a 7-step document as to give you the overview of what needs to be, you know, the steps that take place to create the video. Okay, and they're pretty straightforward. And then your coach will walk you through it as well, and we're available to walk you through those as well. So there's a link called the script template in that video. I would suggest going on that link, and then when you see people's the document on the screen today, that was the link that we're talking about.
And this
Okay,
is all on the same email that was sent out with the mistype of December 9th.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, clear.
So there.
So,
Can you-
Miriam, for the sake of time, because I do have to jump. What, Bob?
Can you see can everyone see the timeline on the screen?
All right, I'll reach out to you. Thank you guys so much for your time. You have a lovely afternoon.
You too.
Yeah.
Awesome. High five.
Thanks, guys. I'm going to have to jump as well. It's Lorraine here. Thank you
Okay.
very much for your contribution. It's been great. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Okay, so
Oh.
Tiffany, do you have any questions?
I guess I have it that I just need to read back through all the emails. I didn't read through them all because I realized that the deadline was the day that I found out that the deadline was. I realized on the same day that, oh my gosh, I got to get this script in. So
Right.
I didn't take the time to like read through all the emails and all the links and stuff. So I figure if I read through all the links, I'll have the answers I need, and I don't need
Well,
to
go
ask.
ahead. Yeah, and that's fine. So thank you. And
But
then
also listen to our coaching because you're already kind of in the pipe. It isn't so
What's
much
that?
emails at this point. It's being a part of our coaching.
Being a part of your coaching?
Yeah, well, we provide you feedback, right?
Mm,
So
Yeah.
it's basically revising your script. So
okay.
the direction now is to revise the script. It's not reading the old emails.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
The next action is revising your script.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So can you give us a promise by when you'll revise your script? And then Bob will set you up with a coach today. You don't have a
Oh.
coach yet?
Tomorrow.
No. I was thinking I would call Miriam too, since I said.
No,
I-
that's
why I got
not
you.
the way that, okay, so Marion's being very gracious and being a host to our webinar. And
Mm.
she's agreed to be a coach, and we do have other coaches as well. So we will, and we all work together on group calls and then separate calls, okay? So we'll give you either Bob and I or there's William will coach you as well, so that
Right.
we'll spread it around a little bit, okay?
Okay.
All right, cool.
And CJ
yeah,
is available
so-
too.
And
So we can.
CJ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Um,
and
So you said by when? So by tomorrow at 9:00. Does that work? I have
yeah, sure.
yeah,
So tomorrow, 9 a.m. or 9 p.m.?
9 p.m.
Okay, cool. That would be great. And I would take on being your coach. Yeah. And
Yay.
I'm going to make a request that you, before you revise your script, that you listen to this webinar, because you've said a lot of really powerful things in it. Okay. So then you can jot down those things that jump at you.
Okay.
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 All right. Awesome. All
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah. So no
How do I listen to
problem.
this webinar? It's going to be in the email.
It's going to take time to upload it, so it's a webinar. So it probably won't be up till tomorrow. So.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, that's okay. You can still go ahead and take a stab at your thing, and then we'll go through it. No worries.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank
Great.
you. Thank you
Thank
all for
you.
being on this webinar. And thank you, Marion, for your wonderful coaching and for who you are to Team Management Leadership Program. I really get your commitment to game in the world and to creating teams and teamwork and to being like the generative of the we, and that it's a game in the world and not just here with us. So thank you for stepping in and playing with us. You're wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I look forward to continuation.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
All
you,
right.
guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all. Have a great, great day and have a great weekend.
Thank
Okay,
you.
we will.
Thank you.
You
Okay,
too.
thank you for your contribution that you are. Thank you for having this space. And, you know, I wouldn't have done this without you. So thank you.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank
And
you.
you can do it. You're doing it.
All
I
right.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the power for you. I love it. All
Thank
right.
you.
Goodbye, everyone. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.